Hi guys, welcome back to Mansell Media Corner, and today is my Q&A answers video. So before I start on, to thank the guys who have left me some awesome questions. So the first four sets of questions come from my very good friend Beatdown Bunny on YouTube, and the first question he asks me: how many wrestling DVDs do I own? Well, it's actually 134 DVDs, and one of them is a TNA DVD, and two I believe Beatdown Bunny may have reviewed, which was the best of ITV British Wrestling, which is it's like a mini box set, which I may do a review of soon. But the rest are like WWE DVDs. And the next question is quite a strange one. So I haven't really got any bad DVDs, but you asked me what is my worst wrestling DVD which I own. It's actually WrestleMania 27 from 2011. Nothing against this WrestleMania, but I wasn't a big fan of The Miz as WWE Champion, and that teased this one too long. It was John Cena and The Rock, and of course would like to have their match at WrestleMania 28, but you had The Undertaker versus Triple H, which wasn't a bad match. There's a couple of down parts of this show. I wasn't a big fan of heel Michael Cole as the main commentator on, I think it was Raw or SmackDown or both, versus Jerry the King Lawler. Really boring match. Should have been on the pre-show, but you had, I believe it was a Battle Royale, which I think Sheamus won, but also had a really boring six-person tag team match with John Morrison, Trish Stratus and Nicole Snooki Polizzi versus Dolph Ziggler and Michael, which is Michelle McCool and Layla. Wasn't a good pay-per-view, and also wasn't a good match. Of course, he had legendary moments, which I do believe the DVD freak over in the States, I'll give a mention to him in a bit. Wasn't a big fan of this DVD either. And the Hall of Fame is okay. There's only two participants I wasn't that keen on, which was Sonny and Drew Carey. So yeah, so that's WrestleMania. And another awesome good question from me, Bunny. What's my favourite wrestler? Again, like DVDs, I haven't really got anyone who I can say is the greatest at the moment, but my favourite ones are Becky Lynch. I think she's an awesome wrestler. Seth freaking Rollins, her husband in real life, I believe. And the Nightmare Rhea Ripley. Also, I'm starting to like the Tribal Chief, Roman Reigns, and of course, can't go wrong with Paul Heyman. So, and also Gunther or Walter. whatever you prefer to call him. And I like Ilya Dragunov as well. I think he's an awesome wrestler. But in AEW, I'm not too sure if he's a face or a heel, but it's MJF. I think that guy's got a future in that company. I really do. And of course, I like Bianca Belair. I don't think I've ever seen her wrestle, but I think Jade Cargill, I think her name is going to be forced to be reckoned with in WWE if booked right. But then this one's a lot more tricky than it looks. Like I said, being a huge WWE fan, lots of times. What is my favourite DVD? Now, I'm gonna cheat. I've got tons. So here's some of the stuff that I love. Absolute classic pay-per-view. Love the last women's standing match between Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair. The women's battle royale's okay as well, if I recall rightly. But that's the first ever Evolution. I hope they do another one with the women's wrestling, what's big at the moment in WWE. Then we got WrestleMania 35. Again, I like this pay-per-view because it's got the TakeOver in New York, which apparently is an amazing pay-per-view. It's got Pete Dunne, now known as Butch, versus Walter, now known as Gunther. Got an absolute classic, Johnny Gargano versus Adam Cole. Baby. So you've got that pay-per-view. And also WrestleMania is one of the longest, I think. But you've got some awesome matches. This was one of the longest I think they ever did as well. You had the new Daniel Bryan. I can't remember. I believe he's a vegan in real life. But that was an awesome match with him and Kofi Kingston again. I've got to say this word. They've got great chemistry. You had Brock Lesnar versus Seth Rollins, which is which is a great match. We also had a really good Hall of Fame class of 2019. I believe the Hall of Fame isn't on this one, because if I recall rightly, this was the one I think where that fan attacked. Tried to attack my all-time favourite wrestler, but the Man Hart, or something along the lines. But you had a very good women's battle royale to kick off the pre-show. You had a really interesting tag team match. Revival now, FTR versus Kurt Hawkins and Zack Ryder. And of course you had the women's match as well. You had Kurt Angle, yes, last match against Baron Corbin. I think it was his Constable Corbin gimmick. Then you've got, of course, absolute classic WrestleMania, the rise of Daniel Bryan. And of course, they had a really good match between the late great Bray Wyatt and John Cena. And lots of other stuff like the end of the streak. Absolute awesome WrestleMania as well. With the main event between Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar, and of course Seth Rollins cashes in. Of course, you had a teaser of how interesting. Ronda Rousey would like to be in the ring. As you can see there, she's manhandling Stephanie McMahon. We had John Cena versus Rusev, and really good. Both got really strong Hall of Famers as well. WrestleMania 1331. I love this Survivor Series. I love the whole concept of NXT, Raw and SmackDown. Of course, you got the late great Bray Wyatt, who I believe passed away a couple of months ago or a couple of weeks ago. He took on just turned babyface Daniel Bryan for the SmackDown Championship. He had a really good NXT Championship between Adam Cole and Pete Dunne. Of course, he had the concept of SmackDown women, Raw women and NXT women battling each other in a traditional Survivor Series elimination. Same as the men, which is an absolute classic. Then we've got WrestleMania 14 from 1998. More famous for that match, Austin versus Shawn Michaels. When you know the backstory now that he had a back problem, which happened at, I believe, the Royal Rumble, when I think Undertaker back body dropped Shawn Michaels onto the casket. I think he hurt his back. So Stone Cold basically had to protect Shawn Michaels by not hurting him as much on his back. But yeah, the first ever Kane versus the Undertaker, and of course there was a Stone Cold Steve Austin with then the Winged Eagle Championship, I think it was. Then we got from the Staples Center in Los Angeles. It's Hell in a Cell 2015, The Undertaker versus Brock Lesnar. Really brutal Hell in a Cell match as well. Of course, they had Bray Wyatt versus Roman Reigns. This is when they tried to experiment with Roman Reigns, see how big he was. Don't get me wrong, he was a big wrestler at the time, but his mic work skills was not that great. Of course, everyone has to have this in the list. It's SummerSlam 1992. The main event was for the Intercontinental Championship. Bret the Hitman Hart versus the British Bulldog Davey Boy Smith. Really strong card, plus also had the dark matches as well. And then we got CM Punk returns to his hometown in Chicago in 2011. I remember this being the Summer of Punk, I believe they called it. But what an iconic ovation he got. And can you imagine if it happens, if CM Punk returns back to WWE? He could do, he could not. If he returned at Chicago this year, especially how popular CM Punk was before he got fired from AEW. But yeah, it's Money in Bank 2011 where Punk battles John Cena for the main title. Of course, he had a really good match between Randy Orton and Christian. We've got Survivor Series 2016. Like 2019, I love the concept of Raw versus SmackDown. We had a tag team elimination match, which was Raw versus SmackDown. course, he had Goldberg versus Brock Lesnar. The reason why I like this show, though, is the main Raw versus SmackDown match between Y2J, Chris Jericho, Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns, Kevin Owens and Braun Strowman versus AJ Styles, Randy Orton, Shane McMahon, Dean Ambrose, now Jon Moxley and the late great Bray Wyatt. Also had a really good elimination match between Sasha Banks, Charlotte Flair, Bayley, Nia Jax and Alicia Fox, battling a team of Nikki Bella, Becky Lynch, Alexa Bliss, Naomi and Carmella. But yeah, it's a hell of a show. Of course, an absolute classic WrestleMania. What can I say? Houston, we have a problem. They certainly did. Two of the biggest stars at the time in WWE, then known as WWF, with Stone Cold Steve Austin versus the WWE champion, The Rock. But also he had an awesome TLC 2 match with Dudley Boys, the champions, versus Edge and Christian versus the Hardy Boys. Had Street Fight between father and son. He also had an underrated Chris Benoit versus Kurt Angle classic. Again, the word chemistry is one of my favourites when I'm talking about matches which an epic, but that was an epic match. Then we got TLC, which is TLC 2015. The ending of this pay-per-view was awesome, where that kind of teased the heel Roman Reigns, where he attacks Triple H for no reason. We had a really good elimination tables match, which was the Whites versus Team Dudley Boys, Tommy Dreamer, I think it was Rhino. We had a good WWE World Tag Team Championship against the Lucha Dragons, Usos and the New Day. But yeah, awesome show. And the last one which I recommend, if you ever see The Undertaker The Last Ride, really good documentary. It's more about Undertaker in Mark Calloway mode, just talking about his career from I think it's 2017, just after WrestleMania, I think, unless that was covered, but it's really interesting what he has to say, and the amount of hard work he had to endure to get in good health. So that's the questions from Beatdown Bunny. Then my good friend Hale asked, what is my favourite DVD I own? Like just then, about my favourite wrestling shows. I've got so many. So let's start with The Game Plan with The Rock. Really good family comedy. Of course, with The Rock on the front cover. Who else is on there? Rosalind Sanchez, I'm not too sure who she is. But I know my good friend Hal, I've just mentioned his name, is going to do a review of this film, because I asked him to. It's Employee of the Month, which doesn't get as much love. Absolute classic comedy. If you've never seen it, you should watch it. I'm not too sure if it's on any streaming sites, but yeah, it's got Dax Shepard, Jessica Simpson and Dane Cook. Then my good friend James Millership loves this franchise. It's Ghostbusters from the year 1984. What can I say? Absolute classic. And one from, I'm going to say 1989, the sequel Ghostbusters 2 with Bill Murray, Dan Aykroyd, Sigourney Weaver, Harold Ramis, and Rick Moranis. It's done by the late great Ivan Reitman. Then we got the bit of classic, one of my all-time favourite James Bond, the Bond I grew up watching, which is the late great Sir Roger Moore, which is Live and Let Die's first James Bond 18 from, I'm going to say 71. But what an awesome, what an awesome introduction to James Bond there. Got Yaphet Kotto, I think it is, or Kato. Of course, got early Jane Seymour as Solitaire, and of course, absolute classic theme sung by I think he just went on to be in Wings. Yes, it is, but it's Paul McCartney, Live and Let Die. And also this one, if I recall, I think it won Best Original Song at the Oscars in 1981, but it's For Your Eyes Only. This is one of the last James Bond films. I know he did Octopussy and A View to a Kill, but this is really good James Bond. It's got Topol, who left us this year, I think, recently, but it's got Julian Glover, I think, still around. But yeah, it's really good James Bond film. Then we've got one of Big Paulie's favourite films of all time. It's Schwarzenegger in Arnie Schwarzenegger, pardon, in Terminator 2 Judgment Day from, I want to say 91, 92. But what an awesome film. It's got Robert Patrick in as well as the villainous Terminator, but really good special effects. And of course, an awesome Queen soundtrack is Highlander with the late great Sean Connery, Christopher Lambert. I wonder whatever happened to him. I think he's gone off the radar unless he's doing something television wise. But awesome film. Of course, it's got Clancy Brown as Kurgan. And from about the same time, it's Big Trouble in Little China with Kurt Russell and Kim Cattrall. But what an awesome sci-fi, what an awesome action, kind of sci-fi elements, with that light pan at the back. There he is, light pan. Of course, another one of the John Carpenters. This one is amazing with Meg Stewart. You can see just there. Keith David of The Thing. And of course the late great Rowdy Roddy Piper. So yeah, absolute classic film. Of course that famous line where he's in the bank as well. It's iconic. And an awesome fight as well. Then of course we can all relate to this one. 40-Year-Old Virgin with Steve Carell. The longer you wait, the harder it gets. Yeah, that's true. But like Employee of the Month, this is just a legendary comedy. Of course, that scene is just hilarious. The body wax scene. But yeah, it's one of Steve Carell's best films. And to do with Robert Patrick is The Marine. I think this was John Cena's debut in a film. But this was produced by WWE Films. But this is a good action film. Let's see, it's directed by Michael Gallagher and Alan McElroy. Screenplay, pardon. It's directed by John Benito. I don't know if he's done anything else, but really good action film. It's the movie. And two classic kids family comedies. Of course, absolute classic Home Alone with Joe Pesci, Daniel Stern and Macaulay Culkin. Again, what can I say? An absolute classic Christmas vibe feel. It's got the late great John Candy as well. And one of my, again, talking about the 80s in terms of like action, adventure, The Goonies. Of course, you got I forget his name. I think it's Sloth. I think his name is. But you can't really tell. But that he recently won an Oscar this year. I believe he directed Everything, Everywhere, and All at Once. But an awesome film, and of course, it's got the awesome "Oh, you guys," including, I forget his name. But you just look at the executive producers. You got Steven Spielberg on board, Frank Marshall and Kathleen Kennedy. So yeah, that's some of my favourite DVDs in my collection. Speaking of Jim Jam movies and TV, Mr. James Millership. He asks, what's my first film to make me feel inspired? My first film I remember to be inspired was actually Superman 3, but my all-time favourite film, which inspires me, is everyone's favourite Star Wars, from The Empire Strikes Back, from 1980. I mean, what can you say? Even the Darth Vader line, you know, no one told you who your father was. Luke Skywalker says something I should remember. You told me you killed him. No, I am your father. Such a memorable line. So that's my favourite film, but I've got one which hits you hard when you think about it. You know, what's happening, all these conflicts going on in the world, but it's from 93, 94. Is Schindler's List. Still to this day, still a powerful film. I remember watching it at history class in secondary school at King Swingford School. But yeah, really powerful film. So, that's my two examples, but Chris Dyer asks me what is my favourite film of the year. Bit of a tricky one. My favourite film is The Flash, but we're in October, right? And when you think of October, you always think of Halloween, so I haven't seen Evil Dead Rise, but I've heard from my members of the BlueTube community it's one of the best films. So I haven't watched that yet, but I'll be watching some horror films. Got a lot what I've recorded, but yeah, but my favourite film this year is The Flash. I actually enjoyed it, you know. And a good question, why do I film on my chair? Long story short, I used the video behind my in front of my wardrobes, and of course it's a bit of a tricky video when I'm doing that. And because I've actually got two chairs, which is that chair which I mainly sit down. This actually originally broke, so because of my weight, but this is my like new media chair where I like sell like DVDs, etc. So yes, that's why I film on my chair. And John of Magpie Movies Film Group asks what is my favourite pay-per-view in the past 5 years. Absolute classic event, the Royal Rumble 2021, I believe. I love the cover. I'm a bit of a science fiction comic book geek, and of course this is just perfect. Also had a really good Royal Rumble match with Rhea Ripley and Bianca Belair. Involved, two of the best at the moment in their respective brands. Of course, it had Edge winning the men's Royal Rumble. And this was during the Thunderdome era, which was like interactive screens where us, the WWE universe, could watch. So yeah, that's Q&A. So I'm gonna give a couple of shout outs to some of the guys who have asked me questions. So shout out to Chris Dyer, who just asked about my favourite film of the year. My good friend Small Screen Big Screen Reviews, which is my friend Hale. The Joker's Funhouse, which is John from Magpie Movie Group. Beatdown Bunny, who asked the first 4 questions, and the legendary Jim Jam Movies and TV. But also haven't asked questions, but I'm going to give him a shout out. So we got the likes of Big Paulie, who is a hell of a YouTuber, very respectful one in the community. Jamie Powell, who's doing his video today where he'll be talking about what he's picked up and what he's seen at the cinema, or what he's watched on like physical media. Wrestling Bars, I definitely know, has got his video up tonight, which is covering Sold Out 1999, I think it is. Of course, the legendary Alan himself, which is Kermit's Ghost. Hell of a YouTuber. Wrestling Shoot interviews as well. Awesome YouTuber as well. Movie timelines over across the States. Hell of a YouTuber. And of course, the legendary Sea of Tranquility. Love their hard rock, heavy metal, prog rock, jazz fusion music. Of course, Gareth off Video Taste is over across here, back to the United Kingdom. Well, Satman, of course, from Wales. Movie Mad, I think he's... No, he's an awesome YouTuber as well. Scottish Movies and TVs, which is Scott Meadows, which is good friends of James Millership. course, Magpie Movies, Music and More. It is Geordie Paul himself, Mr. Paul Robinson. Lad Bible TV as well. Insider Food. Amoriba. It's do like what's in the bag, like musicians. And that just talk about the various backstory of why they've picked up a certain artist or vinyl. And we got Razor Wire reviews as well. Blu-ray and DVD collector. Did you see that? The Magic Kingdom, I think, have just recently moved to the UK, but I'm having a hell of a time trying out like Toby Carvery, etc. Big Joyce Blu-ray DVD limited edition unboxing. Hell of a YouTube as well. And we got Scottish Ski Guy and Ready Player Movies. Mondo to Levesque Movies and Rock God 2004. Scott the Movie Critic and Playtender, guys. So thank you for watching Mansell Media Corner. And thank you for the questions and answers. And I'll see you again for another video. So goodbye for now, and see you on the next video. And thanks for the subs, it means a lot. Just click on the bell if you've never subbed, and you'll get exclusive new videos when it happens. So thank you, anyhow, and goodbye.